Well, welcome to the next video in the series where we're going to look at some buying vintage fishing rods. Okay, so this is a Hardy 1915. You may be wondering why there's a slightly dark varnished area, and this is because this rod has been restored by someone at some point, and these are not the original bandings. They're actually too close together to be the original bandings, but somebody's restored this, and one of the reasons they've done that is because you can just see there where it says Hardy Polycona, and there's a serial number somewhere on the back there. These particular rods, if you remove the Hardy name and the Hardy logos from this section of the rod will lose its value and nobody will be interested in buying it. You'll maybe only get possibly less than a third of the price that you would have done, because the Hardy name means a lot in terms of resale value for a rod like this. And so the previous owners have deliberately left this in place. And that's a good thing, because it means that for the future this rod can be resold. This particular rod was made in 1915. We know that, and I'm just going to show you that in a moment, because just here on this pommel here you can see there's a serial number 98265A. And so if you look at the Hardy serial number lists which are available on the internet, this dates the rod to 1915. But also, if you look around the other side of the rod here, one of the other things that authenticates a Hardy rod is this logo here, and this is a royal warrant. There aren't many manufacturers who have royal warrants, and Hardy have about 7, and the first one was from King George V, and that is King George V's royal warrant. So this rod could not have been made before 1910, 1911, because that's when King George V came to the throne. So this is a 1915 rod. Okay, so just a word about the logos on this rod. You can see there it says Hardy Brothers, makers, Alnwick, which is pronounced Anik, and you can see a serial number there. Now that serial number, if you look at the Hardy serial number lists, which are available on the internet, that is a 1901 rod, and if you look on the other side, there's nothing. And what that means is that this was made before 1910, when George V gave Hardy's the first royal warrant, and that's why there's no royal warrant on this rod, because it's a pre-warrant rod. And that confirms pretty much that it is a 1901 rod, as it happens. And this is Hardy's patent reel holder. So there's a heads up on that. Obviously you don't want to remove this because it's part of the value of the piece, and it also helps to date it. Here's another example of a logo. This is a Hardy mitre. It's sometimes called a half Hardy because it's made by a company called Mitre, who were in association with Hardy for a short period. This hash 5 here, this is the weight of the line that goes onto a fly fishing rod, and it's important that you don't remove these logos, because these are part of the value of the rod when you're buying vintage fishing rods. In this particular case, you can see this says the Aero 890, Aspendales, Redditch, England. Now this is handwritten onto this rod because these rods are handmade. With this rod would be worth around £250, and without it more like £90 or £80. So it makes a huge difference to the price. So you need to make sure that these logos are in place, and you also need to make sure that when you restore the rods that you don't remove them. In the case of the Sharp Scotty, you can see here at the base of the stock of the rod, it says JS Sharp, maker Aberdeen. Now if you turn it around, there's a serial number, 2879. Now if you look at there is a series of serial numbers which you can find on the internet. That particular rod was made in 1960, so you can date the rod exactly from a rod that has a serial number. And it's usually hand-built rods that have these serial numbers. The Sharp Scotty series is a very, very famous series of rods, which is very, very popular amongst anglers. And again, it's a hand-built rod, so you see this handmade writing here. It actually says the feather weight, and it curls around the rod, so it's hard to read. But again, this is something that you don't really want to remove, because that is a significant part of the value of the item. Well, that brings us to the end of the current video. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to check out our store on Odds Ornaments at Etsy.com. Thanks very much, bye.